5 reasons why your relationship has slowly turned into absolute hell. Most people genuinely believe that relationships are meant to be built on love, support, and truly shared happiness together. But why then do millions of couples end up living for many years in a constant, utterly exhausting nightmare? Never-ending rows, paranoid jealousy, complete control, cheating, and a genuinely soul-chilling loneliness together. The very worst thing is that people gradually get used to this toxic swamp. They label it as simply getting older, a genuinely difficult period, or an Italian family. But let's take off the rose-tinted glasses. If you feel that your relationship is destroying you from the inside, these are not merely temporary difficulties. It's a hell that you either created yourself or voluntarily agreed to remain in. Today, we will take a much closer look at 5 rather hidden psychological reasons why your personal life can turn into a true torture chamber and who is genuinely to blame. The first reason is merging instead of a truly genuine partnership. Losing yourself is the single most terrible mistake, one that is almost guaranteed to kill any genuinely healthy relationship. It becomes a complete dissolution of who you are into your partner. You start to confuse real love with merging together. At the initial stage, it seems genuinely romantic. We do absolutely everything together. We keep no secrets at all from each other. We feel like one complete whole. But very soon, this romance turns into a psychological noose. You completely give up your own interests, your friends, and your hobbies. Your life gradually shrinks down to the size of just one single person. And that's when the real catastrophe begins. You end up suffocating your partner with your constant, unbroken presence, and also demanding precisely the very same from them. He quite naturally feels an extremely strong urge to run away, simply to get even just a tiny bit of fresh air. You start to seem a little dull, predictable, and rather clingy to him. Remember, the only people who are genuinely interesting are those who have their own truly independent lives. If you've erased yourself for the sake of your partner, don't be surprised that people have started wiping their feet on you. Reason 2. Pathological jealousy as a mask for deep-seated complexes. Jealousy is often romanticized. If they're jealous, it means they love you. In reality, jealousy has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with love. It's pure, highly concentrated selfishness mixed with an almost wild fear and a real lack of self-confidence. When you check your partner's phone, interrogate them for being only 5 minutes late, and kick off over a few likes on social media, you're not protecting the relationship. You're steadily, methodically, and systematically tearing it apart. Constant control is the absolute best set of instructions for your partner. How exactly should they go about cheating on you? A person eventually gets tired of constantly proving that they're not a camel. Sooner or later, their logic kicks in. I'm being accused all the time anyway, so what difference does it make? Understand one difficult truth. If someone genuinely wants to cheat, they will do it. You won't be able to literally strap them to a chair, and your paranoia is simply a sign that you, yourself, feel inadequate and unworthy of being loved. And what needs treating here is not your partner, but rather your self-esteem. Reason 3. Trying to remake a fully grown adult. You enter into a relationship with a real, living person. Yet in your mind you begin to sketch out a far more thoroughly idealized blueprint. And the moment the honeymoon period is over, you return to that mental file again and start steadily wearing this person down. You try to alter his habits, his style of dress, his manner of communicating, his ambitions, and even his very character itself. It's a truly enormous illusion. An adult doesn't really change unless he genuinely wants to do so for his own sake. Your constant lecturing, reproaches, and relentless nagging are not genuine care at all. They are, in fact, a form of violence. In response, you get either sullen aggression or outright acts of deliberate sabotage. The relationship slowly turns into an endless, grinding war, where you end up playing the role of a cruel warder, and your partner plays the role of a defiant prisoner. Either you accept the person along with their entire collection of quirks, or you simply leave. There is no real third option. Reason 4. Emotional blackmail and the silent treatment. How do you resolve problems as a couple? If, instead of open dialogue, you resort to the tactic of punishing with silence, congratulations. You are a professional executioner of your own relationship. A wounded expression, pointed, demonstrative ignoring, monosyllabic replies through clenched teeth, and the classic, nothing happened, everything's fine. That's nothing but pure emotional sadism. The aim of such behavior is to make your partner suffer through lingering uncertainty, to have them crawl on their knees before you, and to beg for forgiveness for guilt they often do not even understand. It gives you a very strong illusion of power and control, but there is also another side to this coin. Every single episode of silent treatment gradually burns away whatever little warmth still remains in your partner. Sooner or later, he will eventually stop caring altogether, and when you fall silent for 3 days once again, he will realize that without your voice and your constant grievances, life becomes far more calm and far happier for him. Reason 5. Secondary benefits of the victim role. This is arguably the most cynical, yet also the truest reason. A very large number of people remain in toxic relationships because in certain ways it benefits them. Being a deeply unhappy victim, whom everyone pities, can be a colossal psychological resource. When you have a toxic partner, an alcoholic, a cheat, or a tyrant, you automatically become an almost saintly, truly great martyr in the eyes of your friends, your mom, and your colleagues. You can complain endlessly about your truly bitter fate, and in return receive loads of sympathy and approval. And most importantly, the role of the victim removes absolutely any sense of responsibility from you for your own life. Why should you develop, earn money, build a career, or work on yourself? After all, you have got a completely watertight excuse. I have not got time for that. At home, it is absolute hell. I am still saving the whole family. You are consciously trading your own happiness for the rather cheap pity of those around you. In conclusion, I want to say that a healthy relationship is not one where people never argue. It is one where two adults, genuinely independent people, respect each other's boundaries and know how to talk in a proper way, rather than communicating through resentment. If your personal life truly feels like a battlefield, or even like a distant outpost of a psychiatric hospital, stop. Stop blaming the weather, your fate, or your partner's personality. Ask yourself honestly why you are still choosing to remain here voluntarily in this hell. Please remember that the door out of this cage is always open, but to actually step outside, you need to admit that the keys have been in your hands all along. Thank you for watching right to the very end. Have a very good day. Speak soon.